Hi there, it's Carl here from Gaming Till Disconnected, and today I'll be reviewing the MSI GeForce GTX 980 Gaming 4G. The GTX 980 is a top-tier single GPU that uses Nvidia's new Maxwell architecture. With a price of £469.95, it's definitely not going to be an impulse buy, but those looking for top-class desktop performance will surely want to consider it. As usual, I'll give you the specs of the setup used to test the GPU on before going any further. Included in the box is a DVI to VGA adapter, a 6-pin to 8-pin PCIe power cable, a drivers and utilities CD, the contents of which can also be found on MSI's website, and a quick start guide. MSI also bundled in some promotional material to show off other MSI gaming products, as well as some of the eSport teams of which MSI are sponsors. The card is slightly bigger than the Nvidia reference card. The height of it, however, is slightly smaller than the usual 2-slot design that we're all used to, meaning airflow should be significantly improved if you have multiple GPUs installed. The top shroud is made of a plastic shell, with a colour scheme in line with MSI's gaming series range. It has 3 heat pipes running across the top, as well as the 2x8-pin power connectors. Moving around to the front, you will find 2 10cm fans, one featuring the MSI Dragon and the other the MSI logo. The other side of the 980 is pretty bare, and doesn't feature a backplate. MSI obviously chose heat efficiency over extra durability, and I think it was a wise decision. The card is still pretty sturdy, and shouldn't receive many knocks when it's safely inside the case, but having no backplate means that it won't be as large, and so will therefore have better airflow. Along the bottom of the card is the X16 3.0 PCIe connector, and the remaining heat pipe. On the surface, the specifications of the GTX 980 may seem a little worrying when compared to the GTX 780. Despite its superficially worse specifications, however, the GTX 980 runs on the new Maxwell architecture, which is far more power efficient, and despite consuming far less power than the 780, the 980 outperforms it by a significant margin. Part of the reason that you get this incredibly low power usage is that MSI have chosen not to overclock the memory in the GPU. While the memory may not be overclocked by default, the GPU core can be overclocked to 3 different levels, depending on what you're using it for. To take full advantage of overclocking abilities, you can download the MSI gaming app to tune the GPU yourself. Quite importantly for avid gamers, the GTX 980 will support DirectX 12 when it launches next year. Fans of silent computing will be pleased to learn that the GTX 980 can be used for completely silent use. The fans will not spin up until the core temperature of the GPU goes above 60 degrees Celsius, and given that we found the idle temperature of the GTX 980 to be around 39 degrees Celsius, this means that for almost all day-to-day tasks, as well as less GPU-intensive games, there will be no noise coming from the GPU. These 2 fans also spin independently of each other, and use 2 different types of blades that MSI says helps to maximise the downward airflow and intake, helping to get the most air dissipation possible to the heatsink. In terms of output, the display interface includes 1 DVI-I port, 1 HDMI port, and 3 display ports. It's a fairly standard offering, but one that should suffice for most people. As the benchmarks would suggest, gaming on the GTX 980 is pretty impressive. You're going to get next to no lag, even when playing games at their highest settings. We ran all of these benchmark tests 5 times and then took an average, so the results you see should be pretty accurate. The MSI GeForce GTX 980 is pretty great in all categories. It has a nice design, performs incredibly well, and uses less power than its predecessor. I've been using the MSI GeForce GTX 780 Ti for a while now, and I initially didn't notice any difference when I put in the GTX 980 and started using After Effects. That is, until I swapped them back around. The GTX 980 gave me a clear boost in performance, so creatives as well as gamers should be able to benefit from this new power-efficient, super powerful card. With such a high price tag, albeit one that is fair considering the power and efficiency it brings, the GTX 980 is targeting enthusiasts, rather than the average consumer, but early adopters who want to be prepared for the new technologies that are going to be released over the next year or so will definitely want to get their hands on one. I am also awarding the MSI GeForce GTX 980 Gaming 4G with the Gaming Till Disconnected Powerhouse Award, due to its absolutely fantastic performance and efficiency. Well, that's another review. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like, and make sure you subscribe to us to be notified when we make a new video. If you want to go one step further, then click on the button in the top left and you can go over to our Patreon page and pledge as little or as much as you would like, for as long as you would like. Our videos will always be free, but it just helps us continue making them. That's all for now, and I hope I'll see you next time.